Herping, or searching for reptiles and amphibians, can theoretically be done anywhere where these animals live, much like birding. However, unlike birding, you aren't guaranteed to see any of the animals you're looking for. However, there are some great ways to increase your chances of seeing herps. But before you go into the wilderness, let's talk about what to have in your field bag. Anytime you go into the field, it's a good idea to have a first aid kit. You'll also want to be sure to have water and snacks to sustain you, and spare clothes in case the weather changes. I like to bring my bird guide and my herp guide for IDing, although I also use my phone and the Seek app. A flashlight will help you look for snakes and toads in holes, and binoculars will help you observe any turtle basking on logs in the distance. And definitely don't forget your field notebook for taking notes, recording observations, and adding to your species list. Before going out herping, be sure to thoroughly research if there are any venomous species in your area. Here in Chicago, the only venomous local species is the Massasauga rattlesnake, but they are very rare and haven't been seen near the city in years. The approach you take to herping will vary depending on whether you have a target species in mind or if you're just looking for any herps. In the spring and fall, road cruising at night is a great way to look for herps. Animals come out onto the warm asphalt when the air temperature drops. Of course, this isn't very safe for them, so road cruising has the added benefit of saving lives. Just always be careful of your own safety. During the daylight hours, walking through forest, grassland, edge habitat, or vacant lots could all yield species. Unlike with birding, where you're typically listening and looking up, you want to keep your eyes primarily on the ground for herping. You're looking for any movement away from you. Another important search tool is flipping logs and rocks.
Unlike with birding, one of the best ways to herp is to actually move around, right? So in the Birding 101 video we watched, she gave us the advice to stay in one place. With herping, we want to walk and we want to look for areas where reptiles or amphibians might be. One of the best places to look for them is under rotten logs like this. So here in Chicagoland area, we have only one venomous snake, the rattlesnake, and we are not likely to see it, especially in an area like this. But it's always best to be cautious. And one of the best ways to prevent from accidentally getting bit by a snake is to lift the log towards you rather than away from you. That way anything that's underneath it that might get startled will go that way. Again, it is not likely that we're going to see a snake, and especially not a venomous snake, but this is just a good rule of thumb. The second rule of thumb is to always, always, always put back logs or rocks or whatever you flip exactly where they were. You don't want to be disturbing or ruining animals' homes, and there's going to be lots of wildlife underneath here.
After that first bust, where I didn't find anything under that log, anything herpy at least, I kept wandering through the woods, climbing over branches, looking for more rotten logs, exploring a nearby creek bed, checking out crayfish holes, flipping big rocks, flipping rotten logs, and I still found nothing. Unfortunately, not finding any herps is a reality that even the best have to deal with. Sometimes you're not in an ideal location, sometimes it's a bad time of year, and oftentimes it's the weather. Because herps are ectotherms, their metabolism is dependent on the temperature. Let's talk about what to do if you do find a herp. It is imperative that you are careful not to hurt the animal. In most cases, this means not handling them at all, as amphibians especially are sensitive to oils in our hands. If you must handle an animal, do so briefly and use care and caution. Be prepared to be pooped on or musked on. And finally, of course, always release the animal back into its habitat. Happy herping!